Oh, you're gonna love this video. How to teach money management skills to your teenager. This has gotta be my favorite subject on it. You're gonna absolutely love this video. Have you ever wondered, how do you get your teenager to be responsible with money? We're gonna show you exactly how to do that. In this video, we're gonna show you how to empower your teenagers to thrive financially. Not only that, we're gonna teach you how to teach them to want to make this happen, to want to do things around the house, to want to create their own job, and a lot more in this video. And stick around to the very end. I got a special gift for everybody that tunes in. Click the link, put the thumbs up, subscribe. If you've got any personal experiences in this, I want to hear about it. This is near and dear to my heart. So let me just tell you what I've learned over the past several decades. Not only, I had kids later on in life, and I feel like I was blessed in a lot of ways because financially speaking, I was already set. And so when I had the kids, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure they were provided for. And immediately I'm going, hey, this is not gonna work. Because I didn't want them to have to go through what I did to get to where I was at, which is exactly the opposite. That's the nature. That's what you think you need to do, and it's not. What made me who I am is the experiences. Now that doesn't mean I go, okay, kid, you got to fend for your own money and your own food and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. But you have to teach them about money and the value of it. And so I had an experience when my daughter was about 4 years old. And I am just like every other parent. They go into the store, and then she's a girl, so she came up with a little fluffy, stuffy, muffy, whatever the thing it is, and daddy, with the big eyes, and I want this, and I would say no, and she would start crying. And so I was kind of like, look, I'm done. It was right around Christmas time, and she came, and I said, listen, we were going into Bed Bath & Beyond, if anybody remembers those. And I said, now listen, look at me. I said, don't come up to me with the fluffy muffy thing and tell daddy that I want this and you're gonna be the best kid in the world, because we're not gonna do that. And so sure enough, what did she do? She comes up with this little stuff thing, and who knows how much it was, and I need this. And, they put them at kids' levels, on purpose. You look in the grocery stores, things are strategically designed to be at their level so they see it, and they have candy bars. Why would you want to bend down for a candy bar? That's because your kids are at that level. So she does that, and I go, no, put it back. And very stern, and she's crying, doing the whole thing, and I was ready to kill the lady behind the counter, because she says to my daughter, she says, oh, it's okay. It was right around Christmas time. If you're really, really good, Santa Claus is gonna give you this. I'm just fuming at this point, We go outside, I get down on one knee at her level, and I go, Santa Claus is not gonna get you that. Let's just be really clear. Get in the car, we'll talk about it later. And she's sobbing, and we went on to Barnes & Noble, which she loves because she gets to pick out books, and the whole hysterics subsided, and we got her books, and later on we got back into the car, and I said, okay, we need to talk. I said, from now on, Daddy doesn't buy you anything. From now on, your question is, what do I have to do to earn this? And I said, do you understand what I'm saying? She says, she looks at me, and you understand, she's like 4 going on 5, and she says, you mean like, and she was like this, I go, you like sweep the garage or something? Yeah. So you come to me and say, how much do I get paid? And we'll do that. If we get anything out there, you tell me what you're willing to do to earn that. That was my first step. Okay, very crucial. There is a book out there called Smart Kids, Smart Money. And this is by Dave Ramsey's daughter. I think her name is Michelle, I'm not sure, but Smart Kids, Smart Money. And it talked about that in there. And so what I started doing, realizing real quickly is, she was motivated by this. So when she wanted something, I went, 2 days later, 3 days later, we were in Claire's. Anybody that has daughters, you'll know this place. They got hair ties, and it's neon and all sorts of stuff for little girls. And so we're in Claire's, and she's got to get all the hair stuff, and I'm like, I want to get out of here. She goes, Daddy, come here for a second. And so we go, all right. And so we walk around, and she holds out this thing, and she goes, I want to make you a deal on this. And at that moment, I knew I had an entrepreneur. And I go, what do you want? And she goes, what do I need to do to get this? And she didn't have quite the language there. I go, well, I don't know. What are you willing to do? And she thought about it for a minute, and she says, I'll help in the kitchen. I go, what does that mean, help in the kitchen? She goes, I'll help you clean. I says, okay, but you have to help me clean for 1 straight week. And if you do 1 straight week, you'll get this. I says, we're gonna buy this, but you don't get to have it until we finish that contract. And she says, deal. She made me pinky promise. And those of you that, again, have daughters know how important the pinky promise is. And so we did, and we put it up on the mantle, and she completed it. And that started that process. So you really need to get them to understand what that is. So from that point, I started 3 stacks. Okay, I got an envelope, okay, that they get to save, and it's 50% of their money. That money, they can't spend. So for every dollar she gets, 50 cents goes into that one. Then there's 10% she gets to give away. Charity, church, whatever she wants to do. And 40% she gets to spend. Anything she wants. I cannot say yes or no. If it's her money, she can buy it. That's important, that last part. Okay, so what I started doing is at a young age, I said, okay, well, for every day that you make your bed and do your chores, y'all remember the chores. When you're doing that consistently, every day you get $1. And she starts seeing it saved up. The savings one is getting fat. And I keep talking about she gets to buy her car, she gets to go to college, and then she started getting better. She's got a much older brother, and she's going to her brother, she's going, look how much money I have for my car. That's more than you ever had for your car. I'm seeing this whole thing, and she's getting it. And then we'll go into a store and she'll say, I want to get this. And I say, no, I'm not buying that for you. She goes, no, I want to use my own money. And I said, okay. And it was so hard because she was wanting to buy this stuff that was just crap. It was just pure not good. But you have to let them do that. And I'll explain that just right now. So I was letting her buy these things. And then pretty soon she's having to donate those things because she didn't play with them. And immediately she got involved. The value of her work translated into money, translated into a product. Now she really thinks about it. Okay, as you know, a lot of you know that I'm a photographer. I travel all over the world doing that. She goes with me everywhere. And when she has her money that she gets to go, and oh, let me tell you, we were out camping just in Southern California in the desert. I was doing some astrophotography, and she was in this crystal shop, and she bought this whole crystal thing that she was so excited about, and she was so upset later on, about 3 months later, when somebody had done something with that they shouldn't have, and she got, this is my money, this is what I earned from it, so she really understood it. You have to start your teenagers off that way. You can't start when they're in school or what have you. The other thing, and again, you guys, I'm just stealing this from all the stuff I've learned over the years. I've seen people raise their kids. They want a car, they need to start earning that money. They want to go to college, they need to start saving that money. They want to go on a trip, they have to start saving that money. For their trips, for their vacations. When we're on vacation, I don't buy her anything. She has to use her money to do that, and she knows that. Why is that so important? Because when we're not on vacation, she's thinking about saving money for that. And so now when I love Disneyland, my daughter loves Disneyland, we go to Disneyland, it's expensive. Okay, it's super expensive. But when we go to Disneyland, she's already thinking about what shop she's gonna go to, where she's gonna spend her money. She looks at the quality, all of that stuff. It's super important. All of these things are factors, and this is the foundational piece that without this, you're not gonna get anywhere. If you just try to start teaching them how to do money, it doesn't work. In other videos, I've talked about paying your kids up to $13,850 as of the recording of this video that you can write off for your taxes. You can use that money for extracurricular activities, baseball, basketball, uniforms, things that they need later on. It's important at a very young age, like around 9 or 10, is you start showing them that Taekwondo uniform or that choir class that you're doing is coming from that, and it's costing this money. Okay? Don't ever say, we don't have the money to do this, or this is expensive for daddy, or this and that. You say, is this in our budget? Is this in our budget? That way they get away from impulse buying. Okay? So if they see their parents just go out and go, and start buying things all the time, I can afford most things. Okay? But I don't just go, that's pretty cool, I want to get that. When I go on vacation with my daughter, I get all excited and say, when we go to Italy, I'm planning on going to Florence, and they have beautiful leather jackets in Florida. So I want to buy this particular leather. All right, we're going to go to, when we went to Mongolia, there was a certain type of Mongolian hat that we wanted to get. And so we looked everywhere for the right hat. And this is how much money we were willing to spend. And they start understanding budget. They start understanding restraint. And they don't even need to know the word impulse buying because it's been eliminated from their dialogue because it never gets there in the first place. Instead of just like, I need to buy this. She collects dolls and she watches videos on dolls. My daughter does. And these things are not cheap. I mean, they're $45 to $80 a piece. You know what? She saves up the money. She orders the dolls. And she gets them, and the last one that we got, it was I just love this. She got the doll. We have the whole unwrapping, thing, and she unwraps this doll, and it wasn't what she thought it was going to be. I promise you, had I bought her that doll, she would have been okay with it. She goes, this is not what I expected. I says, what do you want to do? She goes, I want to send it back. I said, cool, because it was her money, okay? This is how you teach kids financial literacy. Okay, because it just becomes natural. I mean, she's still very young and she's so much head and shoulders above most of her peers around her. She understands the cost of things. She understands reward. She understands how, if I go out and a deal doesn't go the way I want, if they want to upgrade me to first class because I'm a frequent flyer, if that deal didn't go the right way, I didn't deserve it. She knows that I do that. Nope, we don't do this, we do this. So there's work and reward relationship in all that. This is how you teach your kids true financial literacy. The best way and quickest way to teach your kids financial literacy is go to higginsmethod.com, and I've got a free course that they can watch with you, okay? Start them on that path right today. Click the link down below, and you will get the benefits along with your kids. God bless and good luck.